If the money is totally not scarce, if I can produce 20 coupons, 200 coupons, 20 million coupons, if I told you here's the ticket to the party, first guy gets in, you rush to the party. So that's where I'm saying here's some money, it's getting inflated at a fast rate, and you're rushing to spend it before it goes to zero. In cyberspace, we see this manifested for whenever I post on Twitter, 99 Twitter bots will comment. And they will say, why isn't anybody talking about this? Or they'll give you the crypto giveaway, or they'll offer to let you join their Telegram group to get, free trading advice. And those are all examples of non-real people. They're not real, so they're not credible. So the credibility disappears from all of the personas. They're obviously just bots. Mm-hmm. They're bots because there's no energy content in the bot. Mm. But what happens by inference is first the credibility disappears from the persona, then the credibility disappears from the comment.
Wow.
And then the credibility disappears from the overall system. I went to a party, there were 500 ghosts. They all lied to me. Then I realized I was the only person at the party. Then the party wasn't fun anymore. I took myself home and I realized that I'd inadvertently been hanging out in a haunted house. What I've said, and metaphorically, that describes my DMs and Twitter.
Yeah.
I think I have 100,000 direct messages, of which in the 100,000, there are 57 legitimate ones. That describes my DMs and Instagram. That describes,
wow.
Like right now, if I go to Twitter and I post something, there might be 1,000 or 1,500 comments, of which there might be 50 real comments. So we have all of these, ghost parties going on, and the best situation is, well, they're just ignored. But the worst situation is that the ghosts get in your head and drive you insane. Right? Like literally insane, right? What happens when your daughter logs into Instagram and finds an 18-year-old football quarterback from the school across town that praises her, and then it turns out that's really a 65-year-old, and it's like you don't really know what they are. So I think Booth's example is conventional economics, and he points out that if the money is not scarce, everything else will be because of hyperinflation and economic collapse. There is no method for storing and rationally allocating energy across time and space. So he's pointing that out. But that economic metaphor that can be applied in cyberspace. There is the same thing happens. In essence, you have a collapse of civility and security and credibility in cyberspace on YouTube or Instagram or Twitter or Facebook. You can also apply it as a biological metaphor. If I suck all the oxygen out of your blood, or if I just open up one of your arteries and your blood pressure goes to zero, and you can also apply, so you're bleeding to death. Right, and that's also an example of an energy collapse. And of course, you have an energy collapse if I go into a room maybe I go into a school, and the school is in the Arctic, and it's 68 degrees, and everybody's kind of studying and cooperating and working well with each other, and they're very efficient. And they're working in the lab, and they're doing things, and they're constructing things, and writing books and poems and playing music. And then I crank the temperature down to 58 degrees. And then someone gets up and they walk around a little bit, and they go and put on a coat, and they, get distracted. And then I crank the temperature down to 48 degrees. And then I crank the temperature down to 38 degrees. And at some point, the person that was actually composing the symphony is now just kind of jumping up and down to try to keep from freezing to death. And then the kids are fighting with each other over whether, who gets the clothes or who gets the blanket. When I crank the temperature down to 28 degrees, there's no teaching, there's no creating, there's no joy. The only thing you're doing is attempting to avoid freezing to death. And in the midst, there's a lot of fighting. right? You close the door, I want to burn your desk. You'll burn the room down. Why didn't you give me your lighter? You know, you're too close to me, get closer. All sorts of crazy insanity. All of these systems all collapse because the energy and the fluid lapses. It's an energy lapse. And so I think classic Austrian economics says you need hard money in order to solve the coincidence of wants, and in order to trade, across domains, through space and through time. I have to have hard money, and hard money is simply efficient energy circulation. I need a fluid that moves through the system, right? That's no different than your blood holds oxygen and you're not bleeding, or it's no different than, I've got a coolant in the radiator, right? There's no fluid through the system for heat exchange. So that's what you need. And if I want to break it, I either remove the fluid or I put a defect in the circulatory system. And generally the result is a breakdown of cooperation, a breakdown of trust, a breakdown of credibility, a breakdown of patience. How do I do anything that takes 4 years, right, if I have enough oxygen for 1 year? How do I do anything that takes 3 months if I have enough oxygen for 3 minutes? So the only way that I get something sophisticated done that requires extraordinary cooperation is I have to have a long enough time horizon, and I have to have an efficient means of cooperation. And money is critical technology for that, but really money is just energy. And
Michael,
and we can talk about money, but we should kind of just always take it back to the creation of the universe, right? Which is everything works naturally because of conservation of energy, the existence of energy and matter. I don't think you can. I think that we only have discovered one way that is settled and universally agreed upon to create digital energy or a digital commodity. And the one way is proof of work. I take electricity and I run it through some kind of hashing algorithm. So you could do it with SHA-256. I mean, you could probably come up with another hashing algorithm. You can come up with certain other algorithms that do it, but I'm modulating electricity to do work. I'd say Bitcoin's an example of the creation of a digital commodity. As I said before, if you took away the difficulty adjustment and you took away the halvings, you could have a commodity more so than a scarcity.